Ananda in Linwood is a residential community. It's an apartment complex that was purchased in 1992 by a group of Ananda investors. There are 32 apartment units that people rent. Some people are renters, some people are owners. Ananda is a little bit different from many communities because Ananda is a sort of a very focused spiritual path first, and community is a very important project that we're doing. But the community is not our primary reason for coming together. It's the spiritual path. So consequently, most people who move into the community have been connected with Ananda's teaching center in Bothell, or the East-West Bookshop here that Ananda owns and operates, or the Living Wisdom School that Ananda operates in Shoreline. They've had some contact with Ananda and they hear about the community. And most people who move into the community do so after being connected with Ananda for a while. So we already know them and they know us to a certain extent. Ananda is a urban community here in Linwood, but it's very much, for many of us, part of our experience of a larger Ananda community in Nevada City, California, which is very rural, 700 acres in the foothills of the Sierras. That was the first original Ananda community, founded by a man named Ananda, who was a follower of the author of Autobiography of a Yogi, book that many people are familiar with, Yogananda. That community is where many of us, well, myself and a fair number of the people who now live in Seattle, first got connected with Ananda. I went there because I was reading different things and I realized that I wanted to learn to meditate. I figured that meditation was really important, and everything I read said you need to learn to meditate. But golly gee, it was hard to do. And I couldn't do it on my own. And I went to Ananda because I thought these people can teach me how to meditate, and they're all meditating, so it'll be easier for me. Well, it worked. And while I was taking programs there, I began to realize this is a wonderful community. I don't see why I would really want to leave. I ended up staying and integrating with so many people who were into the larger community down there in California, where there are schools and businesses and families and quite a variety of several hundred people living together. And then eventually I came to the Seattle community, which was a smaller project and more intimate in some ways, and have been living here for a number of years. The Seattle Ananda community has about 45 people living in the 32 units, and the structure of the community itself is a little bit more fluid than most communities because people are connected to the various projects that Ananda does. As I said, the East-West Bookshop here, the school, and the teaching center, and many people spend a lot of time helping in one or another of those projects. So we don't really look at the community per se as a, what are you doing to help the community? Many people are helping in many other different ways. So there's quite a nice, easy flow, a lot of trust, a great deal of harmony. Meditation brings you to a point of feeling joy inside, and you naturally, when you meditate with other people, you naturally feel a bond with them. We feel that meditation is very much the glue that holds the community together, that builds the sense of teamwork and community, that even though we're all rushing around and doing very many things and may not see each other very much, the fact that we share the practices together is a very connecting thing. We feel that meditation is a wonderful thing for everybody to do, and that it would be a good practice for many because it gives us a spiritual focus without the accoutrements, as you might think, of formal religion, or what do you believe, and well, I don't believe exactly this. Meditation gives you an experience of the divine presence within, and is a more universal, provides a basis for a more universal spiritual experience than we're used to in the West with so many sects and different religious organizations. We have a wonderful garden in the community in Linwood this year for the first time in order to try to get more formal about our garden and to be able to make it more a real part of our lives. We started CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. We have about 20 people in the community who paid up front for vegetables that they may or may not eat, depending on how busy they are and everything, but they want to see this happen. So now, those of us on the sort of the semi-official staff are looking at how we're going to fill these boxes every week from June to October, and we jolly well better get busy, and we have a much more extensive, we have a seed room with 5 shelves with lights, and we've got hundreds of seedlings started, and we're digging up beds, and we have 5 gardens around the community for vegetables, not to mention all of the landscape and flower gardens, which are not far from our world. But we're looking, and we have a hoop house. We built a hoop house last year based on something that we saw in our village. And we have 3 meals a week, and everybody participates in either cooking or cleaning for one of those. And as I say, a lot of the community events that we have are integrated into the larger Ananda community. We have many events that take place at the teaching center in Bothell, as well as at the community, and we have many community events, many temple or spiritual events that take place at the community. We have a temple building that is specifically dedicated to spiritual activities, although we occasionally use it for banquets when we don't have space anywhere else. But we have meditations, 5 mornings a week, 5 noon meditations, and numerous other meditations for who's ever interested on weekends and evenings, and many programs that take place there. So that's the Ananda community.